episode 52 of AP Marvel. That's right, 52. If you do the math, that is 1 year of podcast episodes. Yay, everyone.
Yay!
Woo! Least enthusiastic ever. But, we're here. We're all here. All the 5 core AP Marvel members are all here. I think this is the first time we've had all 5 of us.
It's a minor mirror.
No, I think we had an episode where all of us were here.
Not in a really long time.
We'll check the logs.
Yeah, I think might have been an episode where we had to leave in the middle or whatnot, but the 5 of us in a space. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, that doesn't count. No, we're all here together. I'm
Virtually.
Chris Compendio, and I'm gonna list out our names. It's gonna be like the end credits of Endgame, where the signature shows up and the crowd cheers with each name. Thomas Rasmussen, hello.
Hi.
How are you doing today on this fine? This is going up Thursday, but we're recording this on Tuesday. How are you?
I'm busy. I'm stressed, and I'm drunk.
That last part I did not know.
Yeah.
Me
Oh.
neither.
Right on.
We gotta celebrate
very
1
sad.
year. Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sabrina Clark, how drunk are you right now?
Hey, I'm stone cold sober, baby.
Fair enough. That's you gotta maintain some professionalism.
Oh, yes, of course.
But Izzy's
I
show,
always maintain
Excuse me.
decorum.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Izzy's show. You are a professional figure. Would you not say?
I would say I'm very professional.
Yeah.
I'm also stone cold sober, and I was doing homework before this recording.
Yo, Izzy, isn't it the summer? Or should you be done with classes?
I ask myself that every
No
day.
sleep till death. No sleep till death.
That's a damn shame. Yeah, that's my favorite song, Anthony Payone. What's going on with you? In your end of-
I am constantly unprofessional,
Uh-huh.
but that's just my existence.
Uh-huh.
I am not drunk.
Okay, well, it seems like Thomas is the odd one out then. So
I would offer you guys a drink to make this a better celebration. We just happen to be...
Hundreds of miles apart.
Chris, I would almost
Geographically,
argue.
don't
Yeah, Chris, I would almost argue. Last time we recorded this meta episode, you were drinking a beer.
That's true, yes. So this is a kind of a throwback to episode 13. It was just me and Izzy. I think we were trying to do our infamous cursed post-credits discussion episode. That did not work out. So I was just like, okay, Izzy, let's just get on Skype or whatever the heck we were using at the time, and I'm just gonna pop open this beer. Let's have the show about the show.
Yeah.
And that was episode 13, and I went through the history of the Marvel Stuco. That was the basis.
One of my favorite
this.
episodes.
Yeah. Oh, really? Oh, that's
That's
nice.
a weird
Yeah.
favorite episode.
Yeah.
My favorite episode will always be Venom because it has
right. We'll get
It's
there.
so
We'll get our
ridiculous.
favorites eventually. Yeah, but I got a really long email from some dude from Australia about that episode. A lot of compliments and criticisms of that episode. I never replied to him, and I
What?
probably should have, but
Maybe
it was a very
he's
strange
still
email I
listening.
got.
Maybe he's still listening. And if you are, we got your email. We just have not replied.
Yes, thank you
We
for
have-
sticking with us so
we have,
long.
we have, in better terms, forgotten about you.
Mm-hmm.
We
Hey,
keep sending
now.
in mail, and we'll do a fan mail episode.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mail
Sure,
time.
yeah.
I'm committing us to that.
DM AP Marvel on Twitter. DM AP Marvel on Twitter and send
Right.
us all of your criticisms. All of them.
Ooh,
God.
or-
Yeah, don't
All
actually
the
send us
criticisms.
mail, because this is
This is
2019.
2019. I don't check my mail.
It's not the mail. It's just
We
the
are
fact
not
that they
gonna
know our
get a
home
PO box,
addresses.
you guys.
Well, yeah, no one send us actual physical mail, but please do send us fan mail in the form of tweets and/or do we have an email?
We have editors at apmarvel.com. We have Chris at apmarvel.com. I believe Sabrina and Izzy have their own email addresses right now. That's a thing we'll talk about internally, but I think editors at AP Marvel or just sending to me or I guess DM. I don't know. DMs are very you get a lot of shit at DMs through Twitter. Just speaking from personal experience. But we would love any sort of feedback. Like random early morning emails from Australia, also acceptable, you know? But yeah, AP Marvel, that is 1 year of podcasts. That is kind of wild. I have been podcasting for a couple years now, and this is the longest show I've ever done. And that's not even including the Patreon content that we've done. That is not including, Tony's Film Corner, we have Off Topic, we got a lot of content, so we've been at it. I mean, we recorded those first 2 episodes, like, after Infinity War came out, and those were, like, kind of in storage for, like, over a month, so we've actually been doing this more than a year, technically, if you think about it.
A little over,
Yeah. So let's kind of do another show about the show. We already heard the history of the Stuco, so let's just kind of talk about the past year and, like, where we were back then. How has the show evolved? How have we changed as people? Was it you, Izzy, who wrote this question? You're kind of asking, like, what is the identity that has emerged for AP
that's me.
Marvel? Oh, that was Thomas. Okay, so Thomas, do
Yes,
you want to
it
answer
was.
that first? Like, what? Like, you kind of, like, took a break from working with us for a bit, so for some time, for a chunk of time, you were a listener. So I'm curious, like, from your perspective, like, how would you kind of
Thomas
define...
had an ankle bracelet on and couldn't participate
Yes,
with the rest of the
absolutely, yeah. He was in house arrest for crimes he committed.
Yes.
Yeah, until I was replaced with a giant ant and could go back out into the world and make podcasts.
Yes, but yeah.
Yeah. I think actually, realistically, being a listener was a very enjoyable experience. Not better than recording episodes, but like it was a good place to be, being a regular listener of AP Marvel and knowing all you guys and enjoying each episode and screaming when you guys got things wrong. It is fantastic.
When have we ever gotten things wrong?
Wait, you're telling me I, Anthony, have gotten things wrong? Oh, Thomas, you kidder.
But I think that the show, I mean, I know that when we first started, this really was a continuation of the Stuco, in the sense that we had this Marvel-related knowledge that was slightly above and beyond, like, oh, this was cool. It was a more in-depth, study of the universe. And so we just kind of went on and did episodes about stuff we talked about in class. And it has evolved into so much more than just like a regurgitation of those lessons. And I think that evolution really did occur while I was on break. And so like I was tuned in each week and feel a difference where it was moving towards something more meaningful and more about discovery rather than information. Like the name of the podcast is AP Marvel, which makes it sound like a class, but it felt like we were the ones learning as the thing went along.
We were teaching each other.
Oh, so
The
wholesome.
real class was the friends we made along the way.
Oh my god.
So
Wait,
Not
did
if
you
you
guys
say
see
no.
Detective Pikachu?
No, not yet.
Yes.
Yeah, I did.
No, I haven't seen it yet.
The real Pikachu
Okay.
was the friends we made along the way.
That line was in the movie!
Good grief.
Fucking...
Yep.
Just, that's it.
Alright, this is that's the good and the bad of drinking during a podcast. You get speeches and that shit.
I forgot you were drinking because that was very eloquent and nicely phrased.
Well, thank you.
Well, that was a very that's a very me thing to do, and I never drink on this podcast. I do drink, but not on the podcast. Lately, haven't.
All right, unnecessary clarifications. Sabrina, do you got a show and tell monologue in terms of like identity? Like, where do you think, like, how would you define the show? I guess is what I'm asking everyone.
I think of AP Marvel as like sort of like a water cooler situation where we all get together with the ideas that we have, whether we've spent a lot of time researching them beforehand or not, and kind of bring together all of our thoughts and engage in really interesting dialogue. So it's really cool that it's like anchored around a really specific point or topic every episode. But I think the benefit of it is that the conversation is so dynamic, and so the conversation begins to deepen and almost shift a little bit more. And I've really appreciated being able to learn a lot from everyone and also just be able to, I guess, deepen my love for the MCU. And also, disclaimer, like, there are a lot of people who have a lot of opinions, and, you know, we all should have opinions, but I think it's just important to remember that we are a podcast that talks about the MCU, like, specifically the cinematic universe. So, yeah. Just putting that out there.
Yeah, I know what I know what you're getting at there, but yeah, it's yeah, I mean, it's, you know, I'm hesitant to. I always joke about this phrase, but the marketplace of ideas,
right?
But, God forbid we use that term seriously. But I mean, we you know, we come from a lot of different backgrounds, and I'm really appreciative of all the guests that we've gotten over the past year, and it's, you know, kind of like, you know, we do research, or we, you know, sometimes don't do research. We just kind of draw from our own personal knowledge and memory. Mm-hmm. But I've been really surprised multiple times by, you know, you plan out an episode in detail, you start to have that conversation, and then you just start to just make realizations from, you know, your peers and your co-hosts about just you start to look at certain MCU properties from a totally different perspective, and I think that was kind of the point of this whole show in the first place, to, you know, deep dive's a cliche phrase at this point, but that's exactly what this is. We are getting a little deeper into the nitty-gritty of what makes these movies and TV shows. So that's really great to hear, Sabrina, that you kind of have that similar experience. Izzy, you have you're one of the, I guess, if there's like the big three of the Avengers, I guess like you, me, and Anthony, we were there since the beginning. How do you feel about the show, about its identity at this point? How do you think it's kind of evolved, if at all?
That's super daunting. But I think, like,
sorry,
it's okay. No worries. Like, I definitely agree with like what Thomas and Sabrina have said. Like, I really, like, I know when you first pitched this, Chris, like you said, it was really a platform for like marginalized like voices, or like maybe like minority voices, to really like have a platform to sort of speak out, like have their own opinions, and like share them with like this broader platform of like MCU fans, and really just learning something from it. And I've definitely had those moments a lot where I've made realizations to like other people, or just like by me like just talking about things in the MCU, and they've been really, really valuable. And I've also gotten to meet and also be in touch with some great people, like all of you, all the guests we've had. And it's definitely also been almost like, I guess I'm trying to phrase it. Like, I think we'll get more into this later, but it's definitely been a point where I feel like we've also been able to grow in our own little ways, and like just develop our own voices and personalities. So I think, if anything at all, like AP Marvel has been a place of development of not just like ideas, but just us as people, and maybe throughout the guests that we've had, just maybe something we've sort of imparted and taught onto them. And
yeah, growing as people, definitely growing our networks,
yes.
As you mentioned, Izzy. So getting that Twitter clout, I guess. By the way, shout out to Sabrina's old Twitter coming back to life.
Yay!
It was unsnatched from existence.
We did it.
We finally hashtag free Sabrina's Twitter. That finally the campaign worked, everyone.
It did. They definitely
thousands of people.
Sabrina, would you like to make a speech about free Sabrina's Twitter?
Oh my god. Wow, this is so I wasn't expecting this. I would like to thank everybody who supported the Free Sabrina's Twitter campaign. It was really monumental. Your support means the absolute world to me. To Twitter, all I have to say is you suck, and please delete all of the alt-right phonies who are just trying to kill people. Thank you.
Thousands of people
air horns go
rallied and campaigned to free Sabrina's Twitter. It is now free, but it's also private. That's Sabrina's personal Twitter now. So just keep following Sabs Clark. Anyway,
I'm continuing to clap.
Anthony, as you clap, talk to us about AP Marvel's identity.
God.
Are you sure you're not drunk?
I'm not drunk. I just don't know how to respond to these types of things. Maybe
you were the last person. You had all this time to think.
I don't. Yeah, but like I don't know. It's been a lot. It's been kind of fun doing this really long, adventure of a podcast with people. I get to tell people I do an actual podcast with actual things. Like my friend who does another podcast.
Tell people?
Yes, I do. I tell people that I work with not to listen to it. Otherwise, they find out my secrets.
Is there like a stigma to like hosting a podcast? Is that kind of thing where you're like,
there totally is.
Of course you host a podcast.
Yeah,
it's twofold. There's a stigma for hosting a podcast. You're that stereotypical millennial,
Right.
Even though that half of this podcast is run by Gen Z
Gang.
Gen Zers and Zoomers, but also like I espouse a lot of my like radical bullshit. So. That's probably why I probably don't want my coworkers to listening to this. So
Fair.
I feel like the stereotype of a podcaster is someone who's like it's not enough to just talk about your opinions like to the people around you. Like you need a voice, and like this podcast is cool because the rest of you like actually like have some interesting things to say and like should put your voices out into the world. And it's been a privilege to also be here.
Well, thank you, Thomas, for giving some talk during my moment to talk about my mind.
Yeah.
my
a little bit of meta humor there
and thoughts about AP Marvel. It's been a lot of fun for the past year. I'm an adult now.
The fun will continue, right?
Not only, I'm excited to see what else we get to do. So, it's we started my first year being an adult with this podcast, and I will continue to be an adult and also do this podcast. There it is. I hope we get to do a lot more fun, unique things, and also, I keep telling people to tweet at me. I have gotten no tweets. Oh, I've gotten a few, but I've gotten very little tweets. Come on, I want it. Give it to me. Give me the comments.
Jeez, you're asking for a fight, aren't you?
I'm asking for it. I love it. Inject it right into my veins.
Goddamn poking the beehive.
I love it. I love it so much.
Just blurt your address out. Why don't you? So
yeah, like in the Mandarin's going to attack your mansion.
I'm a clout chaser. I chase it. I'm chasing it.
Good grief. Yeah. Hold an intervention for you. Anthony, what are some of your...
Phase up, never phase down. Only the Zoomers will get that.
Favorite moments, favorite episodes, Anthony.
Oh, my favorite episode.
My
favorite episode is Venom, hands down. Because it was just us talking about this dumb ass movie. We were all having a good time. It was just the five of us just railing and just talking about this dumb, ridiculous movie. I love it. It was so great.
The best part about that episode was that it was the same exact length as the movie.
Yes.
I think it was a little longer, actually.
Like
it was longer.
Oh, Thomas.
Izzy, favorites besides Venom? Because I think that's on everyone's list, probably.
Oh God! Like one moment, like one memory that stood out to me. I don't know if it was my favorite, but when I came up. I think the first idea for an episode I came up with was like the Fox properties, and I remember being like super nervous, like stumbling, like mumbling and whatnot, and just really not knowing how to lead at some points. But then like throughout this year, I think I've gotten better. You can comment, I guess, on how well I've been doing.
We're all gonna trash in your
Oh, I forgot to say. I forgot to mention. I also really like the Vibranian dick joke in the Love,
Good
Sex, and
grief.
Money.
LOL.
That was a moment.
All right.
Izzy, continue, and please wash that image away from her head.
Yeah, I guess I just have a lot of memories of like recording these episodes and listening, and like when I listen back to the episodes, just those like coming back in like my states of mind, like the Jessica Jones episode. I had just binge watched most of the season, was running on very little sleep, and was just like, end me! Like, ah! Like, that was really fun to do. But as for a favorite episode, it's a very good question. I really liked, this is an older one, but like a goodie. I really liked doing Daredevil and Catholicism because like I'm a Catholic, and it was just a nice blend of like sort of like my life and like how I live my life. Like it was a really nice blend with that, and just also like the Marvel stuff that I love. It was really interesting to talk about that. And yeah, I think like I feel like I have like strong. I think almost at times like the memories of like just me recording like all these episodes like this over like it's always like it always stands out to me a lot, and so just having fun like looking back at those moments like is really nice.
Yeah, absolutely. Sabrina, any faves?
You know, I'm scrolling through right now, and I just can't pick one.
You can talk about multiple ones.
Okay, let me take a look here. I really love the very first one because surprise, surprise, it's about the Winter Soldier. It's been all downhill from here. But also nostalgia, you know, like that's where this whole thing began. And it's the core of our very beings.
I have distinct memories of recording that and the Hawkeye episode on Anthony's couch.
It's so wholesome.
Rather, Izzy and Anthony were on the couch, and like I was like sitting across, like we were using like that dresser box as like the table, and I was sitting across from you two, and like Izzy and I were like talking, like Anthony was like lying down on his couch and like occasionally getting up to say something. It's just like a very interesting position, but those were really fun to do. The most interesting comment I got about that first episode was that, wow, you spent like an hour talking, like getting deep into the Winter Soldier, and not once did you actually mention Bucky Barnes.
Right.
And I was like, wow, wait, yeah, that's really interesting.
Yeah.
Like
that's probably the most like focused episode we've ever had, I think, because it was so stuck on surveillance. We're talking about it. You know what I mean? Right. But I feel like every other episode since then, I really like the Oscars episode. I thought that was fun. Me, Anthony, and Layla did that in this study room in my dorm. I've since graduated as a little update for people who might care. So it's like kind of another little thing of nostalgia for me. And obviously the Black Panther episodes, that was sick. Like,
yeah,
that was awesome.
Oh man, yeah. When you mean the Oscars, you mean the off-topic one?
Yeah, that was
that
one.
Yeah, that was as the person who like edited that and like wasn't in it. It was like, oh, this is a really good. This is really fun. Like, especially when you and Layla were kind of like in sync with each other. It's really patrons can listen to that episode.
Yeah.
Nice plug there.
Yeah,
Wink.
yeah. If you want to have the same level of enjoyment that I did. Thomas, any faves?
Faves. I really like this is a bad way to do favorites. I'm already down this train of thought though, so we're doing it. I really like the Chris Izzy combo.
Yeah.
And I think there's a couple episodes like that. So episode 13 was like that, and then the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. episode that just came out, I really liked. I can't tell whether I like Chris and Izzy or I just like two-person podcast episodes. But when it gets to be quieter and like each person gets like longer to talk about it, I feel like those episodes always go very interesting directions, and they get to like follow those trains of thought like really far because there's not a lot of like original content.
It's more like talk radio at that point. I kind of like that vibe.
Yeah, like that conversation, like interview, like ish feeling. Like I really like that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I tend to listen at my while I'm working, so that is the vibe that works for me personally. I'm a big fan. But the Venom episode, I had to pause and leave the office to go finish it because I was trying so hard not to laugh and I couldn't stop myself. So we can.
That is the opposite of our two-person episodes. There's that stupid bit that I made everyone do when we're all like, I was like, oh, what do you think of the movie? And we all start talking at the same time.
Yeah.
I edited that, so it was actually kind of funny, but like, man, silly. Similar to like I think another two-person episode I really like was when Anthony, you were like basically interviewing me about my New York Comic Con experience.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
that was a good one.
I enjoyed recording that one. That was
Yeah,
a
that was
cool
that was
one.
an interesting one. I never really done that before, like kind of like interviewing someone.
Yeah. No, that was a good dynamic. You're good at that, Anthony. Let's do more
I mean,
of those
if I
kind
have
of
like a
things.
set of questions and stuff, it's the thinking about the questions that's hard.
Yeah. Y'all pretty much took my answers. I really love the Catholicism Daredevil one because I felt like, Caleb from Marvel News Desk was our guest, and y'all were just schooling me, There was one point where it's literally like, oh wow, I'm like actually learning a lot from here. Thank you so much. This is really cool.
Yeah, welcome to my
and
hell.
likewise
Hey!
the Black Panther episodes.
Ooh, good call.
Yeah, we were getting off the discussion points that I prescribed, but like in a really good way because we were like going above and beyond. I mean, not me, like you, Sabrina, and your brother Brandon and Karen Mulhorn was our other guest. At that point I was just a listener. Like I was just listening to a live podcast at that point, and it was just so cool to listen to. So those are probably my favorite ones. I think our Joss Whedon episode's really good for just like kind of getting really deep into the issues and like what do you do with these prominent figures, and how do we act around that, like with cancel culture being like such a huge thing.
Mhm.
And Jen Uncle was just such a great guest. I believe that is our most listened to episode, the Joss Whedon episode.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Whedon sucks
followed
butts.
by our recap episodes, which
I feel like it's a very funny.
Is that true? No way.
So many
So weird.
listens to those
It's
recap
so
Okay.
episodes.
Listened to
Okay,
that.
Chris, screen capture
Who
didn't
listens to that?
happen.
Yeah.
Right
I'll do
now.
that after
Chris
we
was telling
record
me
this,
the
but
other
I
day-
swear,
Chris was telling me that
I like
it's
looked
the
at.
weirdest fucking thing. Who would hear me like half tired explain half of these movies? Like, I don't.
It
even
was just
fucking
like-
know.
It was the worst level of detail. It was like not detailed enough to feel like you were there, and it's like way too detailed to be like, all right, catch me up before the movie. Like it was right in the middle.
Yeah.
Good grief. All right, then I got some numbers for y'all. According to Anchor, our host, MCU Phase 1 recap. This was 2 hours and 50 minutes
Are you
long.
fucking kidding me?
Jesus.
321 plays.
Bull crap.
Compare that to the Joss Whedon episode that is 344 plays.
That's lit.
Still our most listened to. So, yeah, people listen to our Endgame podcast, more so the post-game than the prediction cast.
Okay.
Turns out people really want to hear some Endgame related content.
So you know how like so this is what the recaps are reminding me of. You know how before both Infinity War and Endgame, all of our mutual friends, well, I don't know if you're friends with her, Thomas, Alexandra. She did not
Halberstadt?
watch. Alexandra Halberstadt did not watch Thor Ragnarok before. Did not see Thor Ragnarok before Infinity War. So we put Thor Ragnarok on one of our phones, and then
My
Chris's
phone,
phone.
as we
goddammit.
were in the theater, she was watching the movie. Like
Oh my god.
like before the trailers, before like while we were just sitting there for like 10-15 minutes, she was just like skimming as best as she could.
I want my goddamn phone back.
Yeah.
And
No,
she-
yeah, 'cause
and she did
I
the exact same thing for Endgame.
What?
Yeah, she did the exact same thing for Endgame, where
I don't think we gave her a phone. I think, we
think
just
she had her
verbally
I think
described,
someone
like,
else's
Ant-Man
phone.
the Wasp and some. I don't know.
I think it was Ant-Man and the
don't
Wasp
remember.
and parts of Captain Marvel.
Right.
Yeah.
You're saying our recaps are like that?
Our
like
recaps
just
were like
hastily
that,
done
like,
and like
Rushed, not like
skip
super
around.
detailed, not super detailed, not rush detailed. Right in the middle.
Here's the fascinating thing about those recaps. I feel like all three of those episodes, they each have a different format.
Yeah.
They really do.
It's like
Like each phase.
it's like we
each
tried
phase
like
had a different format.
yeah, it's like we record the first one and like, okay, here's what you did wrong. Let's try again. And then, oh, let's fix up this more. And we did it again.
Like, I wanted to go in-depth with phase 1, and then that was too long. So, Izzy, you and I tried to, like, expedite the whole process in phase 2, and it was arguably too short. So, it was just ridiculous. But, you know...
But apparently very popular.
Yeah, I mean, like, we have ads, so, like, we got money. We fooled y'all.
I was
You
going
fools.
through our YouTube page today, and I saw that Love, Sex, and Marvel had 1,000 views.
Yeah, it's because people are gonna type in sex and Marvel, and then they're like, wait a minute, this isn't a porn website.
Right.
Goddamn
Yeah, but
perverts.
like, it's wild.
It's really funny.
It's
really
funny. We should have more titles that can grab people like that.
More clickbait.
I wouldn't
You
say
know what?
Love,
We
Sex-
should just
but, like,
we should
Love, Sex,
upload a
and Marvel
podcast to
isn't clickbait.
Pornhub.
Like titles
Well, it
that have
depends on how you
pop-up words.
title it.
I don't know.
That was not a dig. That was like,
Oh
was
god,
partly
I'm not gonna
dig.
make any like jokes and like suggestions because I can't think of any. Like, just I don't. Okay, no, we're moving on from this. No more talk about
Yeah.
You broke Chris.
do we have any like?
about just
Yeah, sorry to cut you off. Like, did anyone have like? Because I was talking also about like, guess also memorable moments I have like when recording alongside like favorite episodes. But did y'all have like any of that you remember? Whatnot?
Moments, like specific moments.
Yeah, like Bible Man is one that I'm remembering right
Oh
now.
my God.
Bible
I
Man.
remember when we talked about Bible Man. Oh, what a time.
Yeah, like I said,
I liked when
What
we
was the
all
recording?
forgot Clint Barton's wife's name, and then we all realized at the same time, and we all just in unison go, "Love."
yeah, I was listening back to the I was listening back to the Hawkeye episode, and just that moment of silence, I was like, "Ooh, we're all horrible people."
Hmm.
Yeah, we're not
Yes, we
horrible
are.
people.
Yes, we are. Who made that joke? Kamoyo beat and me, or whatever that was. Sabrina.
That's so
Yeah.
funny. I feel like that was
Is that Karama or was that Brandon? I don't
No,
remember, but someone made
It
that
definitely.
joke.
I feel like that
That's
was
pretty
definitely
good.
something Karama would have said.
Yeah,
Yeah.
probably.
Come on, beat in me. That's good. That's a good quote.
I think our eulogy for Luke Cage and Iron Fist was a really good episode, and I really this is like me like praising myself, but I liked how I edited like
Right.
the Luke Cage music interludes, like while we were talking about the music in Luke Cage. But
Oh.
Okay,
it was a nice
what
bit.
was the episode where it devolved into a conversation about furries, and we had to cut like a solid 20 minutes?
That sounds like a Love,
Was-
Sex, and Marvel kind of episode.
Was that when Vix was on? Because
It
they're
wasn't Love,
literally a
Sex, and
furry.
Marvel. I don't remember what it was. I think I was editing, and you told me like just cut all the furry stuff, and it was like 20 minutes.
Was it Power
of
Creep? Oh, no.
content.
Was it it had to be
No.
the shared universe model?
I have no idea. It could have been. Oh man, that was a time.
Wow, we've now like done the show like long enough that we don't remember. We can't place where that was. It's just kind of lost. to
I'll
our
go dig it up.
memories.
I'll go find the furry talk.
I
Yes,
would bet.
Furry Talk with Thomas Rasmussen,
I would-
the new show
Oh,
from AP
no.
Marvel.
I think it was the shared universe model. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I didn't edit that shit, so like that could have got.
Yeah,
Very
that
well
sounds
there.
about right.
I did not touch those episodes. Also, you know, I didn't want to mention this because none of you are on this episode, but when I talked to Nat Rose and Laura Berry about the lack of queer representation, and that was just another like, we put the microphone on the table and we just all three of us spoke into the microphone, and it's like I just loved that episode.
Oh, you know
It
what was
a-
fun? Chris, do you
Yeah.
remember when Jack came on?
Yes, great. Yeah, that was wonderful.
That was a great episode. I forgot all about that, but it was cool to have the guest like in person. 'Cause
Yeah,
we
that
were-
was
we
you
were
who put that
Skyping,
together.
and it was me and him on the couch. Like that was a great time.
Yeah, really good episode.
He actually works like 3 feet away from me now. We changed desks.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I think that's also one of our one of our widely listened to episodes. Probably just the name, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me just. I just want to scroll through this list one more time and see if there's anything in particular. I mean, the Hulk episode with Sam that we just did. It was like 3 hours long, but like it's always a joy having Sam on the
Every
show.
Sam episode is great.
Yeah.
Yes.
Also,
absolutely.
How many is that? 3 or 4?
I like the James Gunn 2-parter that we. I guess like by 2-parter I mean like the revisit to James Gunn that we did. I think that was really
both
interesting.
both good episodes. Yeah. Second episode better because we were able to be like, hey, yeah, we didn't really clarify this in the first episode, so and it was a I think we handled the discussion really well, especially with how scattered our opinions were about how all that
the whole thing
weird stuff was.
Yeah.
But, transition, please, Izzy.
Yeah. So, well, AP Marvel's been here for a year, but so have we, obviously. Guess just really what's happened with us during our first year, like what we've learned making this podcast. Like, I talked about it a little bit, just how I've become sort of, I guess, less like sort of microphone shy, I guess, somehow. But yeah, like just what's happened with us, like in the past year, because a lot of shit's happened. Like Sabrina graduated, for one. Yeah.
I have an adult job.
Wow.
Yeah, so
Same.
What's really happened with us, and like how we changed? What has this podcast brought to us in some ways? And
my hair color is different.
yes,
I'm more of a.
Wait, what? What color is it now?
I became more of a social.
No, it's silver, but it used to be like blonde and like before that purple.
Okay.
So like
silver.
Hey.
Chris changes their hair every fucking. It's like fucking Scott Pilgrim.
I'm gonna take a break.
love
I'm gonna go
Scott
back
Pilgrim.
to natural for a bit. Yeah, I'm Ramona Flowers. I'm a manic pixie dream person.
I think that sounds about right.
Manic
I'm an
pixie
aspiring
dream
manic
person.
pixie dream
I
person.
love it.
I'm more of a nightmare than a dream, but
I mean,
That's still
nightmares are
powerful.
dreams. Nightmares are dreams.
it's
They're just
true.
scary
Yeah,
dreams.
but let's be more specific on the type of dream I am.
They're just scary dreams.
Yeah, is there anything else you want to say besides like you're less microphone shy? Because I mean, you've been like taking the lead on more of these episodes, and I think that's really cool.
Yeah, like I've been trying to like learn more of a balance between like doing this and also like I'm still a student and I also have a job now that started in like November, December, and it's going to take me through August. So I won't be around in August, FYI. Like I'll be absent in every single
Rest in
class.
peace.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Time management is something I'm constantly working on, and I think it's become like marginally better. I think we've all dealt with like our own like sort of mental shit in some ways, but even if this podcast didn't exist, like just the community I've built around like y'all, like not just like the host, but, like the other co-teachers we have, like Layla and Aaron, and the community of the class has like sort of been a grounding point and like helped me through a lot, and something that I've sort of been defined by in college. Like apparently the president of the university we go to gave the Stuco a shout out, which I was like, what the fuck? Sabrina can talk about that, I guess, too. But yeah, I've learned like I'm trying to, I guess, have like more of a balance and also try to open up more, just because one of the things I will like naturally do is just like close off, and so it's helped me to be more open whenever I can be on the show, and just remind me like this is a community and like family I can go back to. All right, cheese is over.
Anyone else want to go next? Their little powwow here, a little circle of champagne.
I can attempt.
Sure.
So on the surface, there are a lot of things that are similar about my life now. I think if you visited my room when I was in college, like a year and some ago, and visited my room now, like the furniture is the same, is still messy. A lot of things are like similar looking, but I feel like I have almost nothing in common with the person I was a year ago. I obviously work now instead of being at college. The work that I do is nothing like what I studied at college. Most of I have a whole set of new people I spend my time with. I live in a very different location, Richmond, Virginia, as opposed to Pittsburgh, which is it's a pretty big culture change. And I have lost touch with a lot of the people that I knew back then. So there is almost nothing similar about my life, or even myself, as compared to a year ago. And a lot of that happened sort of over that hiatus period where I was not on the podcast. But yeah, this podcast has spanned one of the largest transitions of my lifetime. Larger than going to college, for sure.
This is the real school right here. Real advanced placement. Well, I mean, I guess I can speak to physical spaces then, because I am in the same room that I was in a year ago, but I look around and everything is a little neater, cleaner, organized. I have, even just recently, like, I bought a planner, you guys.
Wow.
I have a planner now. As of, like, 2 weeks ago.
Damn.
I have gone through, like, numerous, like, mental health crises in the past year, and, you know, I try not to show it on this show. It might be reflected in, like, the release dates of certain episodes, but I have, I'm in a pretty good spot now. I feel a little more clear-headed. I'm not working full-time, but I have numerous gigs, so, like, objectively, like, I have more money this year than I did last year, which I guess is good. And it's, you know, I'm learning more about being an independent content creator. You know, it's just a really tough thing to choose to do, because, you know, you're doing a lot of work and there's very little, like, tangible rewards for it. It's not like we are making a lot of money from doing this, and, you know, I'm really thankful for, like, the, you know, the triple digits number of regular listeners we have. I don't know most of you, and that's really mind-blowing to me that, like, you choose to listen to us and our opinions every week, and, like, that means so much to me. And I wish I can express my appreciation to each
dumb voice.
I can't believe you're willing to, like, listen to
shit. I make random references that no one understands.
Christ, and like,
like, I'm just surprised that, you know, that people even care to listen to this.
Okay, let's not pity yourselves too much. Let's not.
Oh, no, I'm just pitying myself. I'm not pitying.
Don't do that. Okay,
me.
like, I know self-deprecation is, like, a thing with, like, you and me specifically, Anthony, but, like, we gotta
actually, it's
tone
more of a
down
thing
on
with
that.
millennials in general, but that's a problem.
Yeah,
with
millennial
us.
irony. Yeah. Well, Anthony, I'm curious. Like, as someone who has digested a lot of content, how does it feel like being on the other end of, like, creating that content? Like, you have been, like, a little more active recently. You have been editing stuff, man. You did a great job editing that Hawkeye podcast episode last week. So how do you feel about just, you know, your year-long journey working on this
I feel like
project?
Previously my brand was just a joke, and now it's like an actual thing that I have to maintain. I'm, like,
maybe slow down with the
I feel
retweets,
like,
my dude.
I feel like I have, like, an actual brand, and one of my coworkers, well, not coworkers, one of my comrades, I don't know why I said coworkers, one of my comrades in my socialist org that I'm in, at the last meeting, because I do finger guns a lot. Everyone here knows that. If you interact with me online, I have an emote that is finger guns.
Is that one of your defining traits?
Yeah.
I do
No,
finger
it's
guns
just
a
a
lot.
very me
It's
thing.
just a thing I do.
However, I learned that it is incredibly problematic, and because the Bolsonaro in Brazil does finger guns all the time. So I feel
Wow,
really bad.
okay.
And I don't know whether my
I
comrades
feel like
are
you
telling
can
me-
reclaim finger guns.
Yeah,
I feel like that's
know,
alright.
But I don't know if my comrades are saying that so that I stop, or if they're telling me that so that it's not, like, seen as being problematic.
What if they just made up that piece of trivia just to get you
Right.
to stop?
I feel like that
I mean,
sounds
it
like
could
the more
also- I mean,
logical
It
answer.
could also be that.
Well, okay, so that's the whole evolution. You went from using finger guns to not using finger guns.
Yeah, and I mean also, I mean, like, I'm using it a bit more, in a sense. Like, sorry, I was moved away from my mic for one second.
I heard.
Yeah, like it's not more finger guns. It's like more like keeping up with Twitter, avoiding Facebook, kind of
Good.
tweeting out more of my own shit on Twitter instead of just retweeting things.
Yeah.
My brand on Facebook was more or less like sharing things and adding comments, but like it became more of like now a propaganda piece. Before it was kind of like a propaganda piece, but more like now it's more like hardcore, staunch, like socialist stuff.
How do you feel you use this platform to express your own views and thoughts? I mean, do you view it as like a
How do I use this as like a propaganda piece?
Okay, don't call it that.
That's aggressive.
Well, all right.
We're there.
I'm dead.
But also, the word propaganda can be used differently. It has obviously a lot of negative connotations to it, but it can also be used positively as a way to convince people to believe your ideology. So, like, if your
It kind
ideology
of
is
depends on
good,
perspective only.
then
right?
it's not necessarily bad.
I feel like there are more negative connotations for that than with finger guns, but
I mean, yeah,
it's been a journey for you.
it's been a journey. Yeah, I've just kind of been, I've been a lot. I've been all over the place. Been through a lot in the past year. What happened? I have a job. My girlfriend broke up with me of a year and a half, so it's very sad. That happened in March. I'm still very sad about it. So,
We love you,
moving on.
Tony.
Moving on. Yeah,
Everything's great. Everything's better
Everything is
now.
awesome.
I am in an actual organization committed to. I'm in Socialist Alternative. We're a Trotskyist org. So if there's any tankies that listen to this, go fuck yourself. Yeah, it's been like I've been more committed to doing things and going out there, and
Yeah, you are
fight.
focused.
yeah.
You are you have determination. You have goals. That'd be accurate to say. Okay, maybe I was getting too
Don't
far.
get too hasty. Don't get too hasty. I have not cleaned my sink for a while. And I still have to pay my bills. So,
Okay,
but
I mean,
here-
I'm saying long term. I mean, like big
but here's the
picture.
thing. You want to hear some good things?
Oh yeah, yes, please, good things.
I have been taking vitamins,
Good.
and I've been reading
Is that it?
more.
Yep,
I
that's the
haven't
only
played
good
Sekiro
thing.
in like months.
Okay.
Yeah,
You've
reading
kicked
and
the
vitamins.
addiction.
Reading vitamins and I have not drank Coca-Cola for over a week.
There you go. Soda's bad.
Yeah, so
It's too much
I'm
sugar
very
in it.
happy.
It makes your teeth a bad color.
Correct.
That's Anthony Pale in a nutshell. Sabrina, want to spread some positivity?
Positivity. Okay, wait. So, really quick question. Like, what's the question again? I completely forgot what we're supposed to be talking about.
How you've kind of like
Growing the first year.
grown as a person, and like how does working on AP Marvel, how is that intertwined with your
Right.
journey in the past year?
Oh man, how have I grown in the past year?
That's the question.
So much has changed. I don't even remember what my first episode was. I'm trying to think of like the very first episode I did.
Cloak and Dagger season
Was
1.
Cloak and Dagger. Oh my gosh. I no longer watch that series. Or at least I haven't watched season 2, which is sad because I did kind of want to watch it, but like also who wants to wait week to week? Like now that I've tasted binging, honey, I'm never going back. So I think that's one thing that's changed on the material level, but I guess another thing is I think I've become a little bit more receptive to criticism especially like in life in general, but also of the MCU. Like there was a friend of mine the other day who was like, "Oh yeah, you guys have a trash universe," and I was like, that's really funny because we're like a multi-billion-dollar industry.
That's such a weird way to phrase that.
Wait,
You guys
wait.
have such a trash universe.
What does your friend like? What does your friend think is not a trash universe?
I don't know.
Because you gotta
I
compare.
think he
Because when you say a
prefers,
statement like that, you compare
Star
it to
Wars,
something.
Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings, Game of Thrones. Like, I don't know.
Arrowverse, brah.
You
Wait,
know.
are you telling me that Game of Thrones, the show that ended in
Listen,
dumpster
I
fire-
said, do you want to know my response to that? I was like, yeah, well, at least we have consistent writers.
good?
But I feel like
Lord of the Rings also ended in a dumpster fire. Hobbits,
we don't talk about the
Wizarding World
Hobbit, though.
also
Alright,
ending
alright.
in a
No,
dumpster
we're not getting
fire.
which is why I don't understand why they're
Star
doing like
Wars,
a Tolkien like
the
prequel, but
and
okay.
Solo. Come on.
It's fine.
I want Sabrina's positivity.
Oh,
Let's
yes.
listen.
I'm sorry.
My
I'm sorry,
positivity.
I'm done.
They call me Sunshine Sabs. Sunshine Sabs. Should I have a theme song? I don't know, but what I do
You
know
should do
is
that
that
for your indie thing.
oh, thanks. Maybe I should. Okay, anywho. What I do know is that yeah, I've definitely become more receptive to criticism, which is cool. Because I have I guess thicker skin now. But I feel like that's also a result of therapy, which everyone should definitely do, like take advantage at some point in their lives. I also have been able to, I guess like as a segue, have been able to be a little bit more forgiving of myself when it comes to like having hard times with my mental health and things like that. And it's difficult because we don't talk about these things as openly, or I don't know, one of my favorite comedians, Chris D'Elia, I like listen to his podcast and / I like to watch it because his facial expressions are funny. But he was saying like, oh yeah, it's no longer brave to like come out and say that you struggle with something. Like it's now more brave for you to just like tough, like power through it. And I'm like, yeah, okay, I guess in terms of how it's spoken about, you know, everyone's like, wow, it's so brave for you to talk about the fact that you struggle with your anxiety and depression. But I also feel like there's so much of a benefit in being able to have an open dialogue, much like you know, this is kind of a tease for the Thor episode, but much like how Thor was dealing with a lot of grief, and we kind of just expected him to just perform because that's what he was supposed to do. And so I feel like that's really cool. Like the MCU is slowly starting to sprinkle in real life things into their films, and I have no idea where they're going to be going in the next 10 years, but I can only hope that we'll be able to have even more open dialogues, and like the kinds of things that we experience with these characters will be able to continue. And I really appreciate all of the connection that I've gotten to have with Cap. I absolutely love him, if you can't tell. And also with Marcus and McFeely, like, shout out to them. I don't know how they do it. So yes, yay screenwriting, yay mental health open dialogue, yay MCU, and yay AP Marvel.
Yay! Yay on taking breaks. I think all 5 of us individually at some point have taken a break from doing this show.
Yeah.
And that is really important because I don't ever want to get to the point where like, because like this show sometimes feels like a burden, you know. I'm speaking for myself, but I'm sure y'all would silently also agree with me. But I don't ever want to get to the point where like I'm like, okay, I want to quit. I want to end this for everyone and just like shut it off. And like to be fair, that is a valid thing to do. You know, we don't. You know, it's not like we owe the people like a weekly show. This is a thing we want to do because we love doing it, and if you don't love doing it, then what's the point? And I'm glad it sounds like we all still love doing it, which I'm really happy about. But you know, I keep plugging this podcast episode that you know a previous guest of ours, Caitlin Glazero, did an episode of Pound Around about independent content creation and mental health. And, you know, I echo everything that the 3 hosts of that show said. Take care of yourself, take breaks, you know, like, none of us are doing this full time, so when need be, we take a step back, and it's because we just want to keep doing this thing that we love, and we want to still love it by the end of it all. So, I'm really looking forward to whatever we're gonna do in the future. I don't know how long this is gonna go. I hope this just keeps going. It's kind of a wild era because we don't even know what's coming after Far From Home. Like, we know it's coming afterwards, but there isn't like explicit title of movie and release date, so a lot of it's kind of unknown territory, and it's really exciting.
We're gonna have to watch. We're gonna have to watch all the TV shows. We're gonna have to.
Yeah.
We're
Here's the thing: you don't have to watch all the TV
We
shows.
should, but we don't have
I'm
to.
speaking as someone who
Whoever
has
teaching
watched
the
all the TV
class
shows.
Has to.
But
That's-
that's not
yes.
us anymore.
Yes,
That's not
that
us
is
anymore. That's
Layla
Layla and Aaron.
Yes. So here's the thing. Sabrina, you mentioned you stopped watching Cloak and Dagger. I have kept on watching Cloak and Dagger. The finale is actually the night of the episode, like when this episode's coming out. I have not been enjoying season 2, and it's not the worst Marvel TV show ever. Like, it is definitely like way better than Inhumans and like Iron Fist season 1, but it's making me think, like, do I really want to be an MCU completionist? It's really worth it because watching Cloak and Dagger has become such a chore for me. But that's just my opinion.
There's someone that we were talking to on Twitter that really loves Cloak and Dagger.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I have peers who still love that show, and I'm good, like great for them, genuinely, for still enjoying the show. I can't stand it anymore.
Yeah. When's Runaway season 3 coming out?
I don't know. I think they just started filming it, but I did not get turned off of Runaways. I still like that show a
I
lot.
haven't finished season 2, but I think I'm on either episode 9 or 10.
Ooh.
And
Yeah.
you know what? It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, again, that's why we haven't done Runaways recap season 2. First of all, like, there are certain people I want on that episode, and they haven't seen Runaways season 2 yet. We haven't done Punisher season 2 because fucking none of us. I think am I the only one who finished Punisher season 2?
Did you finish it? I thought you did.
Yeah.
Oh, I still haven't
I
finished
did.
that.
Oh,
I
don't know why I'm so turned off by Punisher. There's
know why.
none of the
I don't
marketing
like
sold me.
gun violence.
he just yells Russo like for 13 episodes straight. Like, that's pretty. It's a whole fucking show. But the point I'm trying to get across is that you don't have to, like, I'm speaking, like, specifically to the four of you, but, like, you don't have to watch everything to, like, you know, feel some sort of enlightenment or the sense of completion, you know? Like, take care of yourselves. Like, Izzy, you were talking about how you basically destroyed yourself by binge-watching Jessica Jones before the Jessica Jones episode. And, like, thanks for doing that, but, like, don't do that.
Just let us know.
But, like,
we'll move the episode.
No, but like I also, I think there was like no other way I could like. I think there was like no other point. But I also genuinely needed to finish the second season. I still haven't watched the finale,
Okay.
but I will. But like,
That's in the
yeah,
past.
I still haven't.
It's
Yeah,
fine.
but like I still like genuinely like if I did not watch it then, I would have not. Like that's just how
Yeah.
my life is right now. So like, half of me is like very glad I just sat my butt down and watched it. And like it is like it was an interesting story to consume. And I'm excited to see how it
Sure,
all
yeah.
ends when I finish the finale. But I wish I spread it out more.
Well, as a perfect...
I thought
like-
you were going to talk about season 3, but you're like, yeah,
I
I can't
was
wait to
gonna
see how
say-
season 2 ends.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, as a perfect little, like, not really segue, but super topical situation, because on the day that we're recording this, the Jessica Jones season 3 trailer dropped, and it's coming
Did not
out on
watch
June
it.
14th.
Did not watch it yet because I still have to watch it.
I watched it, but I didn't pay attention. I just kind of, like, saw it and then immediately shared it, and that was it.
I thought nothing
It's like
happened on it.
30 seconds of
I
nothing.
thought
It was-
a 30-second clip.
Yeah, right.
I don't even know who the
but
guy is.
you
There's
know
a
how you
dude
can, like,
in it,
slow it
there's
down?
red
That's
light,
what I
that's
wanted to do.
it.
I wanted to slow it down and kind of take a look at the faces and things like that.
Yeah.
But there is no face.
I
There's
guess we
one
can talk
face.
about our future plans then. Because, well, first of all, don't necessarily expect episodes on The Punisher season 2,
Yeah, no.
Runaway season 2, Cloak and Dagger season 2, maybe Jessica Jones season 3, just because we already, like, have talked about that show in length, but that is not on our schedule at the moment because we have other things we gotta do. So, Well, first of all, actually, you know what? I have on the list here. Thomas, you want to talk about this video you've been working on?
Yeah, I can talk about the video I've been working on.
Okay. Yeah.
So yeah, this is, I guess, a bit of a spoiler for my intro to the video, but that's fine.
I mean, you can be as coy as you
we're
want
doing
to,
a video.
because,
I guess that's
yes.
it was announced on the last podcast episode, I believe, the Hawkeye one.
Maybe, I don't remember.
Yes.
I think
Yes, you did.
Okay, good.
And yeah. So we're doing a video. It's a One Marvelous Scene video, but all of us chose a scene. So there's 5 segments.
5 marvelous scenes.
5 marvelous scenes. Oh, that should be the title. Oh, we should go back and
5
change it.
AP
Yeah.
marvelous scenes.
Barf,
Oh,
we
man.
love a good
Yeah.
time.
Yes, so I have been in the process of editing that for most of the weekend. It's been fun. I think it's good. I think that it will be evident to people who make videos that I don't make videos. But other
It's
than
fine.
that, I think it's come along quite well.
It is a very good, first video.
Yes.
You're all very complimentary. Charles Villanueva was quite complimentary. Charles is the man who did the MCU supercuts that y'all have
Honestly,
seen, for MCU Exchange.
A G.
That is high praise
Right.
coming from him.
It's high praise.
It's high praise.
High praise.
High praise.
Well,
Izzy, say high praise.
So look out for that video to coincide with our kind of 1-year anniversary celebrations ish. We
had a
haven't made
fun
a big
time
deal of
doing
it,
it.
but, yeah, totally. So coming up, we want to do an episode about the box office battle with Avatar, and my question is, why the fuck do we care about box office numbers? But we'll talk about that at some point. We were going to do a Dark Phoenix episode because it's kind of like an obligatory. Okay, they're wrapping this up. Let's see what's going on there, I guess.
I feel like we should.
And we're kind of continuing our unofficial evolution series, let's call it. We did the evolution of Thor, and we did a Hulk through the years episode. We want to do a 2-parter on Thor. I have a cool guest lined up for that. We are planning to do Evolution of Captain America for the 4th of July, because that's on a Thursday, the day that the week the show comes out. It's perfect. Far From Home will be out also after that. We'll try to get an Iron Man episode in because some stuff happened to Iron Man. And then
Hashtag no spoilers.
Yeah, this will culminate in our long-planned Civil War. We have to get some team members for that because I think Thomas is alone in Team Iron Man right now. So,
Dude, just give me half the time. I'll school all
sure.
of you.
I'm dead.
If we
I
got
have to read the philosophy book on Cap and Tony, and y'all.
Yeah, we've got some homework. That's coming.
This is gonna be 2 to 3 weeks of us studying and writing up our debate stuff.
And
yeah,
I or Chris will be moderating. Saying that with hesitation, I'm trying to forget. I'm trying to remember.
Let's not make promises yet because we don't know how the hell this roster's gonna be just yet.
Very weird.
All I'm saying is, if there are any fellow content creators who are listening right now and they would like to participate specifically by being on Team Iron Man, please hit me up on Twitter or on our Discord server. So yeah, before we wrap up, does anyone want to talk about any pet projects they have that they want to kind of hype people up for?
I do.
Oh yeah, pet projects. Yeah.
Okay, so me and my friend Evan, we are doing this thing. It's called the Moist Boys Podcast Cinematic Universe.
Gosh.
I have a podcast, AP Marvel.
Damn it.
He has a podcast called Pizza My Heart, where he eats pizza and also random foods from gas stations across the country, or not gas stations specifically, but frozen foods across the country.
That's
and
very
then
different.
talks about an indie album that him and his friend listened to. And then me and him met up, and we were just like, hey, we both like Carly Rae Jepsen, so why don't we do a podcast about Carly's new album, Dedicated. So we also both listened to the Mountain Goats, and
I don't mean to spoil your fun, Anthony, but the Infinity Pod already did an episode about Carly's new album instead of their Endgame recap. So,
well,
just
let me
saying.
get to this. So there is a podcast that me and Evan both watch both listen to, called I Only Listen to the Mountain Goats. And there's 2 seasons. One season covered each song from All Hail West Texas, and then the other season is covering all the songs from the recent album In League with Dragons. So we thought, hey, let's do the same thing, but with Carly Rae Jepsen. So check out our podcast on SoundCloud. I Only Listen to Carly Rae Jepsen. We have 2 episodes out. We covered Julian and No Drug Like Me. And we're going to be doing a song each week for the rest of the summer. So get hyped. Summer 2019 is going to be lit. Phase up, never phase down. Don't be cloud chasers. Yeet. Yeah.
Oh my god,
Dad.
stop. Just stop.
I'm sad.
Anthony, any APM pet projects, like any episodes? I know your dad.
I wanted to do the dad.
pet
I wanted to do the
project
dad
is
one. That will be something
dad
that will be
episode.
coming up in August. Some music related stuff. I know we keep talking about this all the time. It's just that we have other stuff that we're getting to. Once I get a computer, I'll be doing some video stuff with Thomas. Unless I can do iMovie related things. But iMovie's a trash thing.
Great piece of
I love
software.
the
Compared
not
to
so
the
subtle nod that like you just need me for
$800,000
the movie editing.
Yeah, and compared to the $800,000 cost for like Adobe Premiere.
Man.
But yeah, I'm excited for what we're gonna be doing next. Got some cool things. Yeah.
Anyone else? Any pets project episodes or essays or
Well, I
other
am
things?
so glad that you asked, Chris, because I actually do. I'm
Yeah.
working on a cool little thing called This Week in Indie, and so timely because the Cannes Film Festival just ended, and the very first Korean director won the grand prize. And so I think that's really interesting. I kind of want to
Ooh.
watch his film. It's called Parasite, and my favorite critic, David Ehrlich, also loved it and ranked it as his number 1. So I definitely have to give it a watch. So I'm thinking of doing a kind of thing where I sort of recap the things that are going on in the indie film community and talk about really cool stuff that's coming out, because there's a lot of good summer film, dude. A lot.
Hell yeah. I'm really looking forward to that. Thomas, Izzy, any pet projects you got lined up? I mean, Thomas already has the video he's cooking.
I
up,
mean,
so I guess
I
that
started
counts.
writing a book, but I have no intention to publish,
Holy
so
shit.
no.
Didn't know that.
Writing a book?
Yeah,
The Great American Novel?
probably not great,
Your,
but
memoirs?
a
You're-
novel.
okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
What? Can you give us a little taste of what it's about?
if it is ever finished, it will be over a year from now. So I think I'll save it for the next annual review podcast.
Our 2-year anniversary, yeah.
Well,
But
yeah.
I'll suffice it to say, I like you, Anthony. I listen to a lot of YouTube videos about world building and sort of fiction and that kind of stuff. And listening to the way that other people do their worlds got me frustrated, because I was like, why wouldn't you do it this way? And I realized that what you're supposed to do when you have a really good idea is like do something about it instead of be upset that nobody else did it. So I'm writing the type of fantasy novel I wish other people would have written.
Ooh.
Good.
I like it.
I like
Why'd you
that.
preface
Damn,
that with
I wanna
like
read it
you,
now.
Why'd you preface that with I like you, Anthony? Like that implies that you're going to say something that's like criticize me for.
Well, because we both are in the YouTube vlogosphere type thing.
Yes. And
And that was where I started my idea. All right, I'm not talking anymore. Other people talk.
Izzy, anything before I wrap things up?
I'm publishing my Shazam essay hopefully later at the end of the week, so Actually, by the time this comes out tomorrow, it should be out, and it might spawn into part of a thesis. So we'll see what happens.
Yes, let's see what happens. Always an exciting phrase to say.
Mm-hmm.
So, on my end, I also have a delayed essay. I have been working on I haven't been actively working on it, but I have had a draft of a Punisher Season 2 essay since January. That is almost half a year. So, one day I will have that done. At some point, I would love to do a ranking episode, but not necessarily one where we rank the movies. I mean, we're going to do that, but I would love to talk about how do you actually rank these movies when they're all very different and distinct. So that should be a conversation we should have. Other than that, I think you should look forward to some changes. I have been kind of on the forefront of we should change from Medium to WordPress. Medium's been working great for some things we've needed, but not for many other ones. And, just various, like, behind-the-scenes technical changes that I think I'm looking to get us to do. We were going to be more annoying about the Patreon these days, since it's our kind of a 1-year checkpoint. We want to get some guest posts out there. We want to pay writers. I'm probably going to use some of the ad revenue to get, hopefully, our first guest post sometime over the summer. So at some point, I have to write some pitch guidelines for that. For all of you for all of you writers out there. I don't know why I said aspiring. That's not a good adjective to use anymore, because we are all doing the things that we want to do. We're doing it, everyone! Yeah, we are doing it. We are not aspiring content creators. We are content creators.
Woo!
We are podcast hosts. We are writers. We are experts!
Well,
on some...
not that last one, but that's
placement.
Fine.
We are aspiring
okay, so...
experts.
Yes.
Yeah!
Yeah. Aspiring aspirants. So, I am going to say thank you to some people. First of all, I'd like to say thank you to Aaron Beasley and Layla Jordan. These two they have inherited the CMU, the Carnegie Mellon Stuco class that we have all taught at some point, and they're going to do a fantastic job. I also love having them on the show as often as possible. They bring in a lot of awesome insights, and I hope that they show up more. I hope they have bigger roles in the months to come with this show.
Yeah.
I would like to thank Marvel News Desk. I'd like to thank the trio of Adam Barnhart, Rhiannon Kincaid, aka Brooklyn Wallace, and Caleb Borchers. They were very kind to us when we were hosted on their website, and they were equally kind to us when I chose to spin off from them. They have been supportive since. I still talk to all three of them and interact with them on Twitter, and y'all should too. And I'm going to go ahead and list every single guest we've had on the show in the past year. So we've had Cooper Hood, Sam Reardon, Eric McAdams, Betsy Lodajets, Dave Harris, Peter Unrain, Nat Rose, Laura Berry, Jack Nugent. If I mispronounce anyone's name, someone please stop me. Thomas Lockney, Karen Mahorn, Matt Storm, aka Stormageddon, Jennifer Uncle, Rika Keener, aka Vix Indonk, Brandon C. Kessley, Caitlin Galees-Rowe, Hannah Frank, David Frank, and well, those are all the guests we've had. We didn't have a lot of guests after that, so thanks to all of you, really. Like, you've really helped define what our show is in the past year, and I feel like we have a very good foundation to continue off of this. I feel really positive about where we're going. I feel positive about the changes we're talking about making, and I feel positive, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So yeah, let's wrap it up, guys. Y'all agree with that? So
Yeah.
Okay, so you can find us on social media. We are on Twitter and Facebook, and at some point Instagram. I'm going to be working on an Instagram account with like clips from our previous episodes. I'm still working on that. That is on me. But me personally, you can find me at Compenderizer. Anthony, where can people find you on Twitter?
You can find me at the Pizza Taco. Yeah. Yell
Izzy,
at me.
where can people find you
I'm
on
at
Twitter?
Delirolin on Twitter.
Sabrina, where do you want people to find you on Twitter?
You know, I'm just kidding. At Twitter, you can find me at SABSCLARKE. That's at Sabs Clark.
Very good. Thomas, are you gonna get a Twitter, or are you just gonna say
I
like?
feel like
whatever?
I should make a fake Twitter.
Hmm.
Just because,
Make
a
because I'm also I'm
brand
working on the
Twitter.
video, and in the credits, I'm putting everyone's name and then their Twitter handle to like reach out to them, and it's just my name. It's just the most awkward thing.
You should
It's-
make a brand account. Like, do not tweet any personal
Yeah.
stuff. Just like solely, just
Yeah.
like
Thomas from AP
promote
Marvel.
your projects. Yeah.
Absolutely. And you know what? I blame you guys for making me feel pressure to get a
Oh
Twitter.
yeah, dude. Standard
Yeah.
peer pressure
I mean,
tactics
I will
over
be
here.
okay if you do not make a Twitter. I will not argue or be mad at all.
Honestly,
That's all I'm
Thomas,
saying.
put your Instagram. That's another.
Oh, I deleted Instagram off my phone. I wasn't.
Also, do you
Who
want
is
random
this
following
guy,
on
huh?
Instagram? That's the thing.
You're just a ghost.
Okay. Instead
I will
of
leave you to
finding
figure that
me,
out.
you can take a moment to reflect on your life. How about that?
Take the
Wise words.
10
Thomas.
minutes.
Yes.
and just think.
It's 10 minutes to find someone on Twitter.
I don't know how long it takes to like go through effort to
Introspect for 30 seconds. That's my ask.
Okay.
Yes, only 30
Only
seconds.
30
and that's
seconds
all
of
the time you get.
introspection.
Okay, well, if this was your first episode, I don't know why this was your first, but
Yeah, you should
Otherwise-
watch some other episodes. They're pretty good.
you can subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, Overcasts, Pocket Casts, all the casts. We are basically on every single platform. And if you're on iTunes, you can leave us a review, give us some feedback. And yeah, I mentioned YouTube. Subscribe to our YouTube channel because I've been putting podcast episodes on there. But hey, we're gonna actually have video content, and that'll be exciting. So you want to smash that subscribe button, and you want to be like one of the first ones to get into this, right? Tell everyone, yeah, I watched AP Marvel videos before.
They were cool.
I don't want to jinx it. Okay, that's just an incomplete sentence. Join our Discord. Join our Discord server. We have a lot of cool community members. We're a small bunch, but we're a very active bunch. So I would love to see our community grow within the next year. So just pop in, say your piece. You know, we welcome discussion about politics when talking about our movies and television and whatnot. We're not one of those people. Good grief, that freaking, I don't even want to say his name, but you know who I'm talking about with the whole Captain Marvel stuff. Hate that guy. Anyway, thanks to Charles Villanueva for his graphic design. He has been mentoring us with our forays into video. So, you know, all that money we're paying him is going somewhere. Thanks to Steve Molitor for his music for his track Jazz Avengers. We are also paying him. The more people listen to us, the more he gets paid. And thank you to all of our patrons. If you do not give to our Patreon already, you can do so. You can do it just like $1 a month, $5 a month, etc. $1 a month will get you access to our Marvel musings and certain podcasts, Tony's Film Corner being one of them. $5 a month will get you the off-topic podcast. So we talk about things like, I think y'all did a Shazam podcast episode. We've done Aquaman, Jurassic World: Fallen Kingdom is like actually like really one of my favorite things that we've recorded, and I don't think enough people have listened to that.
Chris, can I just say it was worth it to me to pay $5 a month to this podcast that I host so that I could listen to the off topics. It was that I am in that club.
Yeah, and you know, we're having behind the scenes discussions on like on hosting and changing up the tiers because we want to like, you know, we had like a big surge of patrons for a little bit, but it's kind of dissipated. So we want to come up with like I think Sabrina, you're the one who called it meme content as
Yes.
rewards, perhaps.
We love exclusive meme content.
yes, stay tuned. We haven't come up with any concrete ideas.
Is that the name of this episode? Me content?
God, no, it's not. No. But we will make your buck worth it, like it has been for Thomas. We are going to, I don't want to say what my ideas are because I don't want to, because they might not happen. So I look forward to that. Anything else? Because that's pretty much it. I want to eat dinner, and I'm sure Thomas wants to go to sleep.
I would.
Yeah. Well, goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye.
Then thank you for
so
one
much.
fantastic year of podcasts.
Goodbye.
You didn't say one marvelous year. You said one fantastic year. Chris, what are you
Fuck
doing?
that.
God damn.
One radical.
We have to do
year.
it all over
No.
again. We have to do the whole episode
Oh,
over
no.
again and get that right.
Okay,
Oh
erase
my
this
God.
whole episode.
Do you know what? Just cancel it. We have to redo the whole year. Let's start with episode 1 all over again. Let's do it. Back to the top, baby. Let's hit that theme song and go.
I would like to thank all of my supporters who really believed in freeing my Twitter. It has been such a traumatic experience for 8 months. And I just want to say, Twitter, you need to do better at getting rid of all of these radical leftists who just want to kill everyone. Thank you.
Wow.
The alt lefts.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
Wow, you calling me out?
Anthony, a response. Also, talk to us about.
Wait, did I say
AP Marvel's
leftist? I
identity.
definitely meant alt-right. Can I do that whole thing again? Can you
Yeah,
cut it?
I thought.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Damn it.
No.
No, do it again. I'm doing it again.
No,
I have
redos.
to do it again.
Yeah, do the whole thing again.
No redos on the
I'm
podcast.
so mad. No, you have to cut that out because I did not mean radical leftists.
Yeah,
obviously.
yeah. I mean, you can just take it back from that one line. I don't know.
Oh my god.
I mean, it kind of sounded sarcastic.
I
Yeah,
know,
that's
but
what I
I
got.
actually just
Yeah.
I was trying to be a little bit serious at the end. Like that last line was supposed to be serious. Like
Well,
fuck
maybe
Twitter for
should
not
just get
deleting
rid of
all
the
of these
Nazis.
alt-right
That's it.
whores. That's what I really wanted to say, but we're not going to say that.
Oh wait, we got that.
Oh,
no,
no.
we got that audio clip. We're gonna.
That's going to come back and bite me in the ass. Okay, wait, no, I'm going to try this again.
Probably
Yeah.
not. No,
I'm
yeah,
trying
you
again,
correct
you
yourself like
guys.
within a minute. Yeah, you can't really
Alright.
get back into the mindset. That's a really hard headspace to get back
Are
into.
you kidding me? I practice my Oscar acceptance speeches every day.
Okay,
You think
well,
I'm joking? Okay, I'm gonna
I take that
redo
back
this thing.
then.
Can you give me the line again? Okay.
I don't know what the line is. You're the one who.
No, I think it was
You're the
me.
one who said you practice
Give me the
every
line again,
day.
Izzy.
I think it was me. Sabrina, would you like to make a speech?